Hello, my name is Gregg Braden. Today I am talking to you from my office under the crystal clear blue skies and the thin, cool mountain air of the high deserts of northern New Mexico. But in just a few days, I'm going to be in your city. I'm going to be joined by my dear friend and colleague of over 20 years, Dr. Bruce Lipton, as together we come to Lisbon, Portugal, May 29th through the 31st. And I'd like to talk to you a little bit about why we're making this trip, why we feel it's important to share this program with you. If you're seeing this film, I know that you know. This is no ordinary time, certainly in the history of your nation, in the history of our nation, in the history of all nations. And it's not our imagination. The best minds of our time are now telling us that you and I are living a time that is being called a time of extremes. Now, the extremes are not necessarily about only bad things happening in the world, or even good things happening in the world for that matter, but the extremes are about big things in the world, big changes in the world that mean big changes in our lives. So whether we're talking about climate change or social change, whether we're talking about peak oil or peak debt, those changes in the world, they're changing the way that you and I live. And that change can be stressful to us if we do not have the tools to embrace the change in a healthy way. And this is the key. This is all about resilience. Finding the resilience to embrace the changes of life in a healthy way. We don't want to just survive. We want to transform ourselves so that we can thrive in the new world that is emerging, in the changes that are giving us the opportunities to do just that, to thrive. Most of my adult life, I have studied the indigenous traditions and the ancient traditions and our most cherished spiritual traditions to understand the principles of resilience that our ancestors have known in the past. Some of them we've forgotten, some of them we're only now beginning to realize exist. And there are common themes that run through the wisdom of all of our ancient and indigenous traditions, whether we're talking about the Tibetan traditions or those in the mountains of Egypt or the Andes Mountains of southern Peru or Bolivia or Nepal or India or all through the American desert Southwest. Each of these traditions is very different, for sure. However, there are common themes that weave them together, and one of those themes is the key to embrace change in a healthy way, to find the resilience to deal with the change that comes to our lives. Bruce and I are going to be talking to you about new discoveries, the science, the peer-reviewed science. Not technical, but it is very scientific, and that tells us that these principles are true and that they apply in our lives and our bodies in very real, very concrete, very tangible ways. We're going to talk to you about the changes in the world and the new discoveries that are so new. They're not even shared in the textbooks yet. They're not even taught in the universities on the one hand, and on the other hand, they change everything when it comes to you and me and how we think of ourselves, our relationship to the world and one another, and how we go about embracing change. So I invite you to join us in Lisbon, Portugal, May 29th through the 31st. It is a very full conference, 10 in the morning till 6 p.m. in the afternoon or the evening. We're going to explore these principles and much, much more in a very fast-moving multimedia seminar where sometimes I will present alone, sometimes Bruce will present alone, sometimes we'll be on the stage together, and all the time we are going to be there for you, 100% focused on our family in Portugal. So I invite you to join us May 29th through 31st, Lisbon, Portugal. Come and say hello. We look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much.